Greetings, everyone. This is Gary Cohen, the host of the Rec Center Show on KSCW. Our special guest today, David Bennett. Welcome back, Senior Facility Supervisor. How are things going?
There's a lot going on. Summertime is project time, summer cleaning time. So we may be a tad bit slower with a smaller volume of residents, but the maintenance crews and the contractors that are out here, we're just getting a lot of work done.
Isn't it incredible that June is gone, July is gone? Before I'm starting to see the word September creeping up on my calendar. The season is not all that far away.
No, it's not. Hobby Lobby's got their Christmas decorations up, so the year is flying by. But it's been a very good summer. We're getting a lot of projects done. Beardsley's massively impacted right now, and we're working really hard to get those things back open as quick as we can.
And people are very excited, those who have their pets, the dog park at Johnson. I mean, it's beautiful.
The old small dog park had some extra grass added. We put in new LED solar-powered lights, some extra concrete, extra shade, and then also built that secondary kind of relief park. Both of them are open right now. But what it does is it provides us an opportunity when one side starts to get a little beat up. We can shut that down without having to shut down the entire park. So this is going to be a nice benefit for overseeding time, which will come probably sometime in October. We'll shut one side of the park down and leave the other open. So those owners are going to be able to have their pets come into the park on a regular basis, even during that process.
How's the space utilization stuff working out? I know that was a big focus over the last year.
It was. It started. It's over at Beardsley right now. We're modifying the card rooms right now, creating a yoga studio at one end, and we are painting and new flooring and lots of cleanup when these contractors get out of the way. Left Beardsley this morning, and the contractor showed up to put the carpet in rooms 1, 2, and 3, and the flooring's already done in the yoga studio in the kitchen. So it's moving right along. Paint's pretty good. We got, like I said, a lot of cleanup to do, and then as soon as they get finished with the carpet, we can get in there and start putting up the decor and the functional pieces that we need to get that room back ready and open by, I believe we got September 2nd as our target date.
I was going to ask you, coming up, getting towards September, what are the big projects that are coming around the bend that you'd like to tell people about, if you're able?
It's hard. It's a big list. But what I would say is when we're done here at Beardsley, we get the pool finished, the pool and the work that's being done over at the fitness area. We'll have that reopened sometime by October, hopefully the 1st of October. And then we'll be moving up to Palm Ridge to do some more space utilization stuff, modifying rooms for computers and stained glass. And once that wraps up, then we'll be moving over to Kuntz. And that's a whole facility-wide project between gas meter work and new build for patchers and weavers and the fitness room expansion. So there's a lot of work going on this year. One of the busiest years that I could think of. And, unfortunately, just because there's so much, we got to spread it out throughout the year. Obviously, that makes it inconvenient for some of the groups, but we're doing the best we can to make sure that we're kicking out quality products and in the best time frame that we can.
Do you feel any more pressure when there's work going on during the season? I know that people want it done yesterday, but you all need to obviously get it done right, not necessarily done fast, right?
Yeah, I think it's, quality comes first. Yes, we want it to be done as quickly as possible, but when you're working with some of these projects that are the scope that they are, just moving computers clubs, you can imagine all the wiring and the cables and the computers and the things that go into doing a project like that. You've got to take your time. You've got to go slow. You got to be methodical. But we do press as best we can, whether that's contractors or in-house work, and we do the best we can. But speed is secondary to quality. I think when we open, I want it to be done and done well and well received by our members. You try to speed up too quick, and sometimes the little things get missed. And then when you open after being closed for 3 months, when you maybe should have stayed closed for just another couple of weeks, they see those little imperfections, and it just sheds a bad light on the project in itself.
How far ahead do you all look? I know we may have touched on this in the past, but 1 year goal, do you look several years ahead?
Yeah, we've got, there's a 5-year plan out there, and I know they're constantly looking at reworking that. Some of the projects that we talked about for for this year actually ended up getting pushed into next year to kind of make the budget balance, to make the timelines work. So we're constantly looking, and you can imagine in a community of 27,000 people, there's always something new coming up. So there's probably something that's going to be brought up in the next 12 months that we haven't thought about, that we're going to have to work into our timeline somewhere in the next several years.
And of course, it's been a year of change. You had the passing of the torch from Mr. Whiting to Bill Schwinn, and now this, I guess, changed relationship, if you will, between Pora and the rec center. A lot of change over the last year, right?
There has been, but I think...
but change is good.
Change is good. Change is scary sometimes, but Bill's great. I got a wonderful relationship with Mr. Schwinn, our new general manager, and very open individual, very communicative, and he's picking up quick. He's on the ball, and it's been a nice change. I think having different people with different views and different perspectives on things, for somebody like myself who's been here almost 30 years, it's nice to kind of have dialogue that has a different spin to it. So, I've welcomed the changes, as scary as they may or may not be, and I think we're doing a great job right now. Like I said, the projects are moving well, and, just internally, I think the staff is really binding together well.
And you're all making use of the new technologies that's out there. Like when you talk about 30 years ago, you look at the technology that was available for a place such as this, and now look at what's here that's on your fingertips.
It's really amazing. I was just talking to somebody the other day when I first took over supervising R.H. Johnson. I remember I had a typewriter and an answering machine with the little cassette tape in it. And now when I get a voicemail in my office, it can transfer it over to an email. So I get it on my smartphone, which is on my hip all the time. Technology's been great. And, I remember the first few radio interviews we did them on the radio. And now we've got the YouTube channel going on. So we'll be out there on the interweb or however you want to describe that. But yeah, technology's been great, and I think it's a great way to get information out. I think even just doing these radio interviews is a great way to share with folks what we're doing, what's coming up, and how they may be impacted by it.
And of course, the ones who go way back to their other homes during the off season, if you will, they're able to listen to this show on the internet. They can catch up with what's going on, and even they'll be informed from long distance about what's going on in KSCW 103.1. They can listen to a show like this and get the information they need for when they come back in the fall. They'll know what's coming.
Absolutely. I mean, we're doing so many more modes of communication, between the Facebooks and the e-newsletter is great that comes out every week. These YouTube videos, the radio station, information is available if you really want it. And it's not hard to get. So I think it's value added for us to be able to get the word out to folks when we are going to have, maybe a closure that was kind of unexpected and, hey, we need to close in 2 weeks. We've got, a plethora of ways to get that information out to the members, besides the printed signs and things like that. The electronic ways are just multiples.
What would you say your goals are now from here to, let's say, the end of this calendar year?
Get Beardsley back open. It's probably the main thing that I'm focused on right now is getting Beardsley back up and running. We're focused on getting the card rooms done. All the work we talked about over there. All LED lighting has gone into every craft room over there. So we're really pushing that energy conservation thing. The pool is going to take us into October. And once we get that back up and running, then the focus will shift over to Palm Ridge. But at that point, we're going to have concerts in the park are going to be coming up, movies in the park. So kind of when we get out of all this project phase and big thing, then it's going to be focusing on, activities with Casey and the special events team and, really just getting back to what we normally do when it's not massive project season. But this year, as we said, Palm Ridge will be next and Koontz will probably start sometime the first part of the year. So we're going to have a lot going on this year.
We're speaking with David Bennett, the Senior Facility Supervisor here at the Rec Centers of Sun City West. David, so much going on at the same time. How do you balance all the plates that are spinning?
Well, I definitely don't do it by myself. Carl Wilhelm is our project manager, and he oversees most of these projects that are going on. And I've got some great facility leads that work with me. over at Beardsley and here at Johnson, and just sharing the load. I think that's what it is. A great team is a compilation of all the pieces put together. So not one person is solely responsible for a good job. And I've got a great team that works for me. And I know John Diatavio up at Palm Ridge has great people that work for him at his 2 locations. So that's the only way you can do it. You have to share the wealth. You have to delegate. But you're trying to keep your finger on the pulse of everything. It gets a little tricky, but communication. Again, text message. Send me a text, shoot me a voicemail, shoot me an email. Lots of ways to communicate and stay in touch with each other, and that's how we can juggle all these things going on.
I'm glad you brought up about staying in touch. For new members of the community, can they give you input? Can they help you by things they observe or maybe things they might want to suggest?
Yeah, absolutely. We had just recently, the first part of this year, I think around April, May, we had put new fitness equipment in up at the Palm Ridge Fitness Center. And I had people, even after we put it in, ask the question, well, hey, I would have liked to have given some input or some say-so. And I mentioned to them that we had put out signs and had a couple different public forums for people to come and give their input. That's not the only time you can get it. There's comment forms at every rec center. My business cards are at most of the rec centers, if not all of them. And, I welcome ideas all the time. So I would rather have those conversations prior to making big changes. But obviously not everybody gets the word. So we just keep striving to continue to beef up the way that we get the word out.
Dave, is there anything else you would like to add as we wrap up today's show?
Just a couple things timeline-wise for people. August 19th is going to be a big day. The Beardsley Fitness and Pool Building is going to be entirely closed for several weeks, possibly as long as October 1st. We'll try to get the gym open as quick as we can, but the pool will be still down at that time. Starting on the 19th as well, we finished the social hall wood floor, but we're going to be working on the table tennis and racquetball floors. They'll be beginning that week as well. And it's been a good summer from the standpoint we've entered into a couple new partnerships. We opened up and sent out an RFP for our housekeeping services and cleaning products, and we have chosen a new company to go with. So we're kind of excited about that. Different voices, better prices. So it was a great time to sit down as a group and really evaluate that process. And we have also entered into a contract with a company to provide our wellness services. So that was something we've been working on for several months now. And as of August 1st, we have Reflective Enterprises in here, and they're going to be providing the massage services. We have a new company doing our personal training. And so we're excited about that. And anybody that wants to find out more information about those things, it's all available at each one of the 4 recreation centers.
I tell you, when you mentioned the wellness, this place really cares. I've been here a little over a year. You all really care about us who live here.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we're here. We're not just here to put in new lights and clean the carpets and, wash the windows. It's trying to provide for the 27,000 people that are here everything that they may want. And while we can't do everything for everybody, we do our best to provide as much as we can for as many as we can. And, that's why I say communication. Our ears are always open. You might not always get a yes. It might not be financially feasible. Timelines might be issues, or just not enough support for whatever the idea may be. But, all the trends and all the ideas don't all come from in-house. So it's great to have all the membership providing with us. You mentioned people that are the birds, and they have another place that they go. And when they come back, I've had lots of people come up to me and say, hey, at the place that I go to in Minnesota, they have this machine or they have this activity. And is this something we could look at incorporating? And it's like, absolutely. Let's look at that. Let's talk about it. Do some research and see if it's an applicable thing, and get after it. So it's nice to have those. The wellness services right now, personal training, massage. Hopefully starting in September, we'll get back to doing monthly training demonstrations. Those will be free to all the members. And then we want to kind of expound on that. And I don't want to get too far ahead of where we're at, but other services to come. So hopefully some seminars and lectures and things like that.
David Bennett, Senior Facility Supervisor, Sun City West Rec Center. We thank you so much for joining us on the Rec Center Show. We look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it.